updates. It's gonna take a while. So.
Logo. They're walking down the sewer, you just see their silhouette. They jump into freeze frames, and then the logo comes out, and it's the same logo from the cartoon. And I was trying to think if I'd ever seen, you could see the little R, the little registered trademark thing. And I was like, like, do you ever see that in any other movie based on something where they just put the trademark right on the opening title card of the movie?
I don't know.
That stuck out to me because it's like, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It's funny, you see that, and then the rest of the movie has so much integrity.
I mean, it would have been easy to make. I just keep thinking of the second movie. The second movie is what your worst fears of what the first movie could have been. Vanilla Ice and all that crap, and just the cartoony, goofy tone.
Big goofy monsters, overly cartoony. Oh, you can't use your weapons. You got to throw sausages at the enemies.
Yeah. The biggest shock in rewatching the first one is from Splinter's very first scene. He's constantly beating it into their heads like, I'm gonna die someday.
You are still young, but one day I will be gone. Use my teachings wisely.
You're children, and I'm telling you this. It's almost a shock that he doesn't die at the end of the movie. I mean, I understand why he wouldn't, because it's a franchise, but it's beaten into him so much where it almost feels like that's what it's leading up to.
Feels like there's a lot of gravity to that, and he feels pretty frail.
And it's played so straight. And again, that visual absurdity. Like, there's that great scene where the camera's spinning around him and Raphael, and it's like right in their face.
I am here, my son.
And the animatronics are great because it's Jim Henson's company.
There's a specific shot where Splinter is sitting on his chair, and he's telling Raphael to like kneel or listen now, and he's like, when he says the word now, his tail also gesticulates with his hand.
Goodness, wait till morning. You will listen now.
And I just noticed, because I rewatched it. I've watched that movie probably 100 times, and I've never noticed that. And I rewound. I was like, that's so cute. Look at that. Somebody controlled his tail to make him make his point more firm. I thought that was great.
Well, that's the hire Jim Henson's company. That's what you get. That's Kevin clashed at Splinter, who went on to do Elmo, which is so weird. But that was another thing I was excited about with the movie, was the fact that it was Jim Henson, and such an odd project for him to work on.
And this is before he died, right?
It was one of the last things he did before he died.
Yeah.
But it's so, it is grim, it is violent, it's not anything like, the stuff that he was more closely associated with. And I think he kind of did it as a favor to the director, because the director did episodes of The Storyteller, if you ever saw that.
I have not seen that.
ABC series. It's a good show.
Is that a Jim Henson puppet thing?
Yeah, that was like one of, because Jim Henson, towards the end of his career, he was getting more sort of ambitious with animatronics and stuff, and so he did The Storyteller.
Wasn't it like a segment on a weird rebooted Muppet show?
The first half of the show was, the Muppets running a
TV
studio,
station,
and then the second half was The Storyteller, which was these fantasy stories, an
Something
anthology
more
show.
in the vein of Dark Crystal.
Yeah,
or Labyrinth.
Yeah, and so the director of this went on to do that. So he's like, Jim, come give me a hand. Make these turtles
Help me do these
me.
fucking turtles. I have no idea how to do fucking turtles.
We've got, there's a number of motors, and we're using a lot of radio control. We even tie a computer up with each of those characters, and a puppeteer operating the computer.
But their design is great too, because they're all distinct.
Yeah.
There's like slight variations to the sculpts of each of them. Like Donatello's a little more kind of boxy shaped. Michelangelo is rounder features. He's like the cutest looking one.
Yeah.
And then Raphael's got like a little scar on it. Like, they all have different shapes. It would have been so easy to just sculpt a head and they'll all look like that.
Yeah, they're turtles. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at the cartoon, they all look the same. And even most of the early Mirage, they all looked identical.
Yeah.
There was no difference. I think the main delineation in the Mirage books, which were black and white, which other than the cover, and the cover was monochrome red. It wasn't even, like, even in that, you couldn't really tell them, like, if they had different color green skin or anything like that. But in any case, on the inside, they all looked identical, all four of the turtles, except for they had different weapons. And really I think later on they added Donatello's strap, the real big, thick, singular strap. But in all the Mirage books, Leo has the thin straps. He was really the only visually different one. If you showed like a close-up of any of their faces, unless it was Leo where you could see the scabbards on his back, you don't know. I mean, unless they're holding their nunchucks up in camera or holding up, Raph's size or something in camera, you would just not know, other than contextual clues from the dialogue or something like that.
Help each other, draw upon one another, and always remember the true force that binds you.
In the 1990s film, when they go to the farm, I get a little bit choked up every time they make astral connection to Splinter. Like, they meditate, and then he like tells them that he loves them and stuff, and then Raphael and Mikey maybe, or
Michelangelo
both
is
starting
like
to cry.
outwardly, he's like blatantly crying.
Yeah.
Which is, he's been just the comic relief through the whole movie. He's just been completely goofy. So to see him like get emotional like that, it is kind of shocking. And again, because it's great Jim Henson animatronics, they all have such personality.
They do, so expressive.
Where a scene like that really works.
But even as an elderly man now, I still, when I watch it, I get like, I'm like, oh, like it touches me, and it's such an old film, but it was done so well, In the farm scene, Michelangelo, it was supposed to, in the original script, supposed to go into a darker character turn where he was supposed to become more grim and not be as jokey. So if you look at, there's 2 scenes that in the edit they voiced it over with Raphael's voice to make it Raph instead. There's the scene where there's a turtle who it's shot as Mikey, but it's voiced over as Raph on top of the barn, and he throws his hands up and he yells Splinter.
Oh yeah.
If you look close, those are nunchucks, and that's Mikey.
Oh.
And the same thing. There's another shot inside of the barn. I'm not sure. I think Mikey is punching the what is it called? The bag that you hit. What's that called?
Punching bag?
A punch bag. A punch bag.
The bag that you hit is the official title.
But that was supposed to be Mikey. It was basically a subplot that they cut out, I think, to streamline things, and they just made it where.
See, that's interesting because one of the things that really stuck out in rewatching it was that early scene after Splinter is like, someday I won't be here, and Michelangelo is waiting for the pizza guy to show up, and Donatello comes up to him, and they have this like quiet little moment.
Did you ever think about what Splinter said tonight? You know, not having him.
But Mikey just kind of blows it off there.
He's like, pizza dude's got 30 seconds. It's almost like he doesn't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
So it kind of ties in with, if he's bottling this up, like the actual thought of responsibility. That's, like I said, all the best stuff is the farmhouse stuff, and it feels long. So it's interesting that it would have been even longer.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much they actually shot or whatever.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that is because Kevin was talking about it. He was describing it.
Time's up. $3 off.
Are we seeing this arch support? My toxic trait is I can't wear socks unless they're Bombas. It took them 2 years and they designed the most perfect sock. No toe seam. That's my favorite part. Ultra supportive arch. I just love how they're always coming out with new prints. And 100% happiness guarantee. If you get a hole in them, if they become your dog's favorite chew toy, if you just lose one in the laundry, Bombas will replace that item. Click the link below to get 20% off your first purchase with code YouTube20.
Blank U I blank E. Oh hey, I'm Mo, the Mountain One spokesgoat. Thinking about a mortgage or home equity loan? Mountain One Bank can guide you through the whole process. Guide! Had it all the way.
I don't know if it's because I'm older, but I watched this and I think Splinter is my favorite character in this.
Well, he's
more interesting than the Turtles.
Yeah, well, this is, in rewatching it, I still like the movie a lot. Some of the goofier stuff, to me, doesn't hold up. But it's obviously, I'm not the target audience for it. The 10-year-old me was the target audience for it, and 10-year-old me loved it. But the stuff that really holds up is, like I said, the stuff that's played more straight. And I love the kind of dark cinematography, the backlighting. So that's the stuff that really holds up, and the goofy stuff doesn't, which is why I think I would agree that Splinter's the best character, because up until the very end, when he's like, I made the fun, and you roll your eyes. Everything else with him is played so straight, but it's this big, goofy, talking rat puppet.
And then there's that triumphant moment where he shows up on the rooftop, and the puppet's like... It looks
being propped up by like a broom behind it or something.
Awkwardly, and they're just like, just shoot it fast. We've got 10 seconds to get this shot. You know, he's just like, he looks so even as a youngster watching this.
That whole fight is pretty awkward. The puppet has extreme limitations, so we have to cover this with 15 different edits.
Yeah. It's I don't know what they could have done other than making us, dressing up a little person as Splinter to get some motion out of it, or just standing there. But even just him standing there, he looks so awkward. It really pops me out every time I see it. And I'll even sometimes when I'm drawing, I'll have it in the background, and it's like, there's your favorite moments that every time I'll like talk along with the dialogue, throughout the movie. And every time at the rooftop scene, I think that's an awesome fight. I'm talking about the Shredder versus all four of the Turtles. That whole scene is fantastic. The lesson of you could have, with the loss of but one of you, you possibly could have, overpowered me. And then as soon as Splinter shows up, I just stop what I'm doing. I look at that puppet because it is so awkward the way it's standing.
That puppet has been tortured.
That's true.
That's true. He's very weak.
Okay,
still.
good point. You're saving it for me. Keep going. Keep going.
He can barely stand. The character can barely stand. It's not an awkward puppet.
All right, you're winning me over with this. Maybe it's not a flaw; it's a feature. It's actually an improvement. Yeah, because he would be all broken up. They probably worked his ribs and broke his legs or something.
Yeah.
Well,
did you hear what he said? Okay.
It's doubly distracting because I was surprised at how quaint the ending is. It's like it's just 4 people in rubber costumes kicking Shredder on this tiny rooftop set with this giant city backdrop. I was like, that is a backdrop, and it's so obviously a backdrop. And also, I don't know, even as a kid, this kind of distracted me. You could always tell when the stunt performers were doing the action in the turtle costumes because they suddenly just have no mobility in their face. Yeah, they're stuck in like a growl position.
That's a good point. Yeah, and sometimes it's like the most severe growl they've made in the whole film.
Yeah.
And they're holding it. They look like they have been driven insane. And they can't stop doing that. And then they'll cut to a close-up. Yes.
Yeah.
Because Leo should, of course, get a gritted face when he's really serious. But of all of them, he should have the most composure.
Yeah.
So then when they cut to a shot of him doing stuff and he's just like totally torqued, his teeth, all of his teeth are showing. I did notice that. So. To the credit of the second movie is not a terrible film, but it is not nearly as good as the first film, at least to my interpretation or standards.
It's definitely more aimed directly at kids, as opposed to the first movie, which has a little bit broader of appeal.
They attempted to bring in the original plot for the second film was that it was the same plot, but there was going to be a reveal that the scientists working in the TGRI facility were the Ultrams, which are the ones that basically Krang's race. So there would have, I don't know, potentially have been a scene where the main scientist man would have gone, and revealed a little brain thing in his stomach to set up Krang for a future movie or something. So I don't know I don't think they shot anything like that, but that was one of the original ideas. So I think Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were still involved in making suggestions, like where can we go, what should we do for a second film, and that was one of their ideas, was to keep it, because that would still fall in line with what TCRI is in the Mirage books.
Yeah.
Is that it's the same race as Krang, although Krang as a character is not in there. They're called the Ultrams, I believe. And they have like android bodies that can be disguised as a human, and they have the brain in the stomach.
They're not very friendly.
But yeah, that's where, like, I think Baxter takes his Mouser inventions there to pitch it to them because he knows that they're a high-tech company and stuff. So, and Baxter's just like a regular human. He's not mutated as a fly and stuff. But that's where the Mousers would come about. So they were attempting to make the second movie go into some similar parallel storylines with the Mirage books. But maybe that was just a bridge too far for us to reveal at the end of the movie a Krang thing in his belly. Like, all the parents would have been like, what?
Eastman and Laird, they really seemed to give a shit about their vision when they made that first one. Why didn't they care for the second one? Or did they care, or what was going on?
I think it was the speed at which it was, I think it was done in a year or just over a year. The second movie was.
Well, that was, New Line Cinema. That was their model at the time. They had the Freddy Krueger movies coming out every year.
Yeah.
And I think they were trying to do that with the Ninja Turtles.
So I think that Eastman or Laird had to be, this might have been around the time that they were being sued every 10 minutes.
What were they being sued for?
Basically for people trying to get a cash grab, a settlement out of the deal. So it would be, I don't know the specifics. That's not something that Kevin's told me particular. I've read interviews and heard interviews where they talk about it. But it would be somebody who claimed that they had an idea for, ninja animals or something. And, or, I had an idea once of a guy who did things. Thus you took that because you have a guy who does things, As much money as they had, they were just such a prime target for that type of, I think, overly litigious, irrelevant sort of lawsuits.
I invented the idea of middle-aged Buddha beetles.
Right. Yeah, and now we're talking about something that's...
What was that? There was a ninja. I mean, there was a ton of Ninja
Kung
Turtle.
Fu Kangaroos, Biker Mice from Mars.
But there was like big bad Beetleborgs. Is that same era?
Wasn't that more of a Power Rangers ripoff?
Maybe. I don't know.
A little bit of both.
Sure.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Street Sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a ton of Ninja Turtles ripoffs.
And Battletoads, I'll say it.
Yeah.
At the end, or
All right, let's do more updates. Update requires a restart. axis. So. Alright. So what I gotta do. That's fine. So this I gotta change. Two operated kills with assault rifles. Alright, so let's do this. Alright, equip. Fucking 6 minutes, cool. This fucking shit look all washed out. Fuck. 5 minutes. So why don't we? So what are we doing here? tune my sight. So let's save it. So, okay. I heard my range. So. So, custom logo. Song, attack, Bryson. Good. It's fine. Can't tune anything until. Why's this shit all like fucking washed out? So let's rename this to so. Kills with the assault rifles. Let's go. Five over. Fuck. So I'm gonna switch to snipers. It'll be all fucked up. Switch to sniper. Be lucky if I get 2 fucking kills.
Search and destroy. That round. Get ready for the next one. Search and destroy. Strasser 1, set security on the objectives. Defuse the bomb. Victory secure. Be ready to win again.
So it's 1 kill.
Search and destroy. All Strasser, defend the objectives. Get ready for the next one. Switching sides.
Headshots.
Search and destroy. Trazer 1, set a charge on the target and detonate it. You have secured the bomb. Have the device. Cold-blooded online. Planting bomb at Bravo. Stand by. All Strasser devices set. Stand by to detonate. Victory secure. Be ready to win again. Search and destroy. Old Strasser, plant a charge on the target and destroy it. We have secured the bomb. One minute remaining. Bomb secure. Seconds remain. You've secured the device. Setting device on Bravo. Ghost online. Device in place. Countdown started. Our device was disarmed. We lost that round. Get ready for the next one. Search and destroy. Old Strasser, detonate the target to win. Start your offensive. We have secured the bomb. Friendly UAV on station. On the move. Hostiles are using recon. Planting bomb at Alpha. 60 seconds left. Setting device on Alpha. Stand by. Bomb planted. Set a perimeter.
Get
Recon
down!
signal
Enemy
lost.
sniper here!
On the way. You've won that round. Get ready for the next one. Switching sides. Search and destroy. All Strasser, secure a perimeter around the objectives.
Fuck, everybody quit.
Enemy bomb at Bravo. The round is lost. Focus on the next one. Search and destroy. All Strasser, defend the objective. Our UAV is orbiting the area. One minute remaining.
Boom. So, I'm curious, dude. Oh, it's a sniper.
I get the recipe from my grandma.
My grandmother cooked gumbo, and I'm still cooking it today.
As a little girl, I would watch my grandmother and my mother.
It turned into something that I will forever cherish and share with my children.
We are at my UPS hub in Maspeth. In the holidays, we work definitely longer shifts. It's crazy, but it's good.
What's up, guys? My name is Ace, and today it's time for part 2 of my final review for Call of Duty Vanguard, where we're going to be focusing on what I feel the game did wrong this year. Now, if you guys have missed the first part of this series, I will leave that link down below, and I do encourage you to check it out. That's where I talked about things that I actually liked about Vanguard and some of the positives that I wanted to pull out. Today, we're focusing on the negatives, and we do have quite a long list to get through here, but just a couple things to point out first. First up, some of these are going to be subjective things, so it's just based on my opinion, and if you disagree, totally fine, although many of the things on this are also objective problems with the game. Another thing is this is focusing only on the multiplayer side of things for Vanguard, since that's all I'm interested in. And one final thing I wanted to point out here, even though this is going to be quite a negative video, really honing in on the things I didn't like about the game, I do want to be clear that I don't despise Vanguard. In fact, I think I like it more than a lot of the community does. But having said that, of course, it's nowhere near my favorite Call of Duty game, and there are a lot of issues to go through today. And diving right into it, I honestly think one of the biggest issues with Vanguard, and one of the reasons it was nowhere near as successful as it could have been, is simply the World War II setting that also didn't really stick to World War II. I don't think the general community was ready for another World War II Call of Duty game. In fact, when it was first leaked that it would be a World War II COD and we didn't know anything else about it, there was a pretty overwhelming negative reception to that right away. However, there were, of course, people that were like, yeah, I definitely want to see a World War II COD with the new engine and the updated graphics. But then for a lot of those people, they ended up hating the setting as well because they didn't stay faithful to a proper World War II setting, and instead they went with sort of an alternate history, kind of a silly toned World War II route. And I feel like that decision pushed both of those groups away, where even the people that were really excited for a World War II game, they ended up disappointed as well. Next up, I want to get into some of the technical issues that this game experienced. Most of these have been worked out by now, like eventually they got them fixed, but in many cases it just took them too long to get on top of these issues, and by then it was too late to recapture the players that these issues pushed away. Now, one of the big issues that I was fortunate enough to not experience very much, but I know a lot of people were experiencing this. I've seen tons of gameplay clips of it from people that don't have issues in any other Call of Duty game. This was extreme packet loss or packet burst. And I'm talking so extreme that the game was essentially unplayable. Like, you're just skipping and stuttering around all over the place, and at least in many cases, it didn't appear to be on the player's end at all. Additionally, there were really inconsistent aim assist issues early on, primarily with Xbox players. Again, this is something that I personally didn't experience because I play on PlayStation and I just never really ran into this. But I know it was an issue for Xbox, and it did take them, I think, several months to get this one worked out. One of the technical issues that was more of just a minor annoyance, but I still didn't like it, and this is something that I did experience a lot early on. This was that weird bug where it was like a spotlight was following my character, and it was really jarring, and it screwed up all the shadows and everything around me, and it just made the game look horrible. That one I feel like took a good couple of months for them to take care of. Another thing that I still experience to this day is inconsistent behavior with the destructible areas of the map, like destructible walls and windows, for instance. And this really made me hate the destruction in general. Like, I'm not opposed to the idea of having these destructible areas, but the behavior in-game was just too inconsistent, and I would have preferred if they just didn't have it at all. Just a couple examples, a lot of times you'd run full sprint into a destructible wall that you're meant to be able to sprint through and break, and yet it wouldn't break. You'd just run head into it and just stop dead in your tracks, which would screw up routes and just make things inconsistent. And another thing is oftentimes I would find my aim assist would be disabled while aiming through an area that had a wall in it, but that wall was destroyed. And regardless of what your opinion is on aim assist in Call of Duty, your aim should at least work consistently in all situations, and this caused a major inconsistency in many gunfights. Next up, another technical issue that popped up a lot throughout the year is just a map rotation issue where, depending on the combat pacing option that you had selected and the game mode that you wanted to play, it seemed to significantly limit the pool of maps that you were able to play. Like, there'd be periods of time where it seemed impossible to play certain maps if you wanted to play your preferred game mode and pacing, and that didn't really make much sense to me. I feel like all of the maps should have been available for all of the game modes and all of the combat pacing options, and that simply wasn't the case throughout a good portion of the life cycle. And honestly, I don't even know if they've worked this out yet. I haven't been playing enough lately to really keep tabs on that, but it was really frustrating to know that there were like 20 plus maps in the game, but because I like playing Tactical Domination, for instance, I only get to play like 8 to 10 of those maps for an entire season, and then the next season it seemed like they would switch up the rotation a little bit and it was a different set of maps that you could play. And another technical issue that I still run into with Vanguard is it will often get stuck searching for a match, and I believe it actually gets to a point where it's not actually searching even though it's telling you that it is. Like, if it doesn't show the ping range that it's searching for, that means it's not actually searching for a game, and you'll never find a game. You can sit on that screen forever and you'll never find one. And while that's not a major issue because all you have to do is back out and search again and it will work the next time, it is still an issue and it's still present to this day. Moving on, let's get into some more gameplay related things. The first thing I'm going to mention here is spawns, at least early on in the game's lifecycle. Now, you might have noticed I also mentioned spawns in the What They Did Right video. This is because I think with their big spawn overhaul, they actually fixed most of my spawn complaints and issues. Not saying the spawns are perfect now, but they're at least significantly better than at launch. Because for the first couple or a few months of the game being out, the spawns were absolutely awful. It seemed like they were using a very similar system to Modern Warfare 2019, and it looks like Modern Warfare 2 is going to be following the same route here, at least early on in their life cycle. And with that early spawn system that Vanguard had, it made for horrible map flow and gameplay pacing. It just didn't make much sense, and therefore it definitely deserves a spot on this list because I feel like that's one of the big things that pushed a lot of people away early on, and many of those players never came back to see how good the spawns ended up turning out. After that, let's talk about bloom, or aim down sight spread, or essentially just inaccuracy with the first shot that you fire. This is not to be confused with recoil or idle sway. I'm talking when your sight is perfectly on target and you pull the trigger, the bullet doesn't necessarily go right where you're aiming, and when the game first launched, the amount of aim down sight spread we had in this game was ridiculous. It was nowhere even remotely close to realistic, even with World War II era weapons. And in my opinion, this has no place in a Call of Duty game aside from maybe some niche weapons. If they want to make sure they're limiting a weapon's ability at longer ranges, then target recoil or idle sway or bullet velocity, or just add another damage range, for instance. Don't make it so my bullets are going in random places that I have zero control over because it's literally randomized. Now, to be fair, they did patch this, I believe, all the way back in December, and they significantly reduced the aim down sight spread to the point where it's essentially a non-issue. So since then, I honestly haven't really had any complaints about bloom in the game. I don't feel like I've lost any gunfights due to bloom. But still, it deserved a spot on this list because I hope we never see this type of aim down sight spread ever return to Call of Duty. So the next thing...
I wish I could see June this holiday.
Some time with Oscar would be nice.
Causing trouble?
Running around the ship?
Lying through my...
Let's start getting into the weapons and the gunsmith. The first thing I'll mention with the weapons is the weapon grind. To get a weapon from level 1 all the way to the max level was absolutely ridiculous, especially early on. Now, they have been making it easier and easier as time has gone on, and I've definitely noticed a big improvement here over time, but I still feel like the weapon grind is too tedious, it takes too long, And this is made even worse with how important those late level unlocks are for weapons. And this sort of segues into another big issue that I had with the gunsmith in this game, and that is I didn't like the fact that we had so many attachments that altered our damage or our rate of fire, essentially our raw time to kill of the gun. And not just by a small margin, we're talking massive differences that essentially turn it into a totally different gun that is on a completely different level. And the first reason I didn't like this is just the massive discrepancy between a gun at level 1 versus a gun when you max it out fully. Like, of course, I'm totally fine with guns becoming a bit more powerful as you unlock more and more attachments, but it was to the point where it was such a night and day difference, and that grind was so long and tedious that it just became frustrating using such a terrible weapon for so long until you finally get that one attachment that turns it into one of the best guns in the game. Additionally, with many of these attachments, they altered your time to kill so much that the general time to kill that you actually experience while playing the game is too fast in this. I've said this before with Vanguard, and I'll say it again. I think the base time to kill with no attachments equipped on any of the guns, I think it's essentially perfect for a Call of Duty game. I really like the base time to kill of Vanguard, but when you start mixing in these damage and rate of fire altering attachments, you can often cut your time to kill almost in half, and at that point, the time to kill is just too fast in my opinion. And on top of that, this also created an issue with crutch attachments on guns, where you're not putting attachments on to maybe help support your playstyle or make up for one downside with a weapon, for instance. It's basically, if you aren't using that attachment, you're doing it wrong because it's just objectively so much better with that attachment equipped. And that's a balancing issue as well that was never really resolved.
Look around! Friendly UAV online.
Team deathmatch.
Our UAV is orbiting the area.
Using drill charge!
Friendly UAV online.
Throwing flash grenades! Throwing! Switching mags!
Friendly cruise missile approaching target.
This is a lot of blood.
Throwing flash! Switching mags! Enemy troops in ah!
System out!
Approaching your six!
Changing mags! Mission is half complete. Secure the victory.
Changing mags! Enemy!
Flash out! Look around!
Hostile cluster mine active.
Fire in the hole! Using drill charge! First one!
Check your fire! I'm hit! Hostile sentry is active.
Throwing grenade!
Switching mags! Hostile counter UAV overhead.
Enemy down!
Enemy precision airstrike. Find cover.
I'm reloading! Changing mags! Frag out!
Fire in the hole! right near your position.
Smoke inbound!
We have an ammo box here.
Throwing grenade!
Enemies deployed a counter UAV.
The enemy has it.
Flash out! Loading fresh man!
The lead is ours. We're gaining ground. Don't let up.
Hostile UAV in the area.
All hunters, mission accomplished. Lack a job.
Feel like it's 4 times. Doesn't fucking feel like it.
Search and destroy. We have the device. Minute left. We're planting at Bravo. All Saber, device is set. Stand by to detonate. next one.
This is gonna be pretty gay. Okay.
Confirming next hard point. Stand by. Hard point.
You're done!
Location updated. Capture the hard point.
Covering your 6! Contact! Watch your fire! I'm reloading!
Enemy personnel at the hard point.
Throwing flash grenade! Reloading! Trophy system out!
Hard point relocating. Stand by. Hard point compromised. Secure the UAV standing by. Enemy inside the perimeter. Target area updated. Move to the hard point.
Copy that. UAV online and orbiting the AO.
Covering your 6!
Enemy UAV active.
UAV is bingo fuel. RTB at this time.
Locating the next hard point. Get ready. Friendly UAV on station. Hard point relocated. Secure the target area. Hardpoint relocating. Stand by. Target area updated. Move to the hardpoint. Ghost. Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area.
Got one.
Enemies inside the perimeter. Enemy UAV overhead.
Throwing grenade!
Confirming next hardpoint. Stand by. Enemy personnel at the hardpoint.
Scratch one.
Location updated. Capture the hardpoint. Enemies deployed a bomb drone. Enemy UAV active.
Movers.
Enemies inside the perimeter.
Changing map.
Alright, so this is my sniper.
Our UAV is orbiting the area.
So,
Personnel at the hardpoint.
Ammo here. Watch your fire.
The enemy's gaining ground. Push them back. Locating the next hardpoint. Get ready. Enemy UAV overhead. Friendly mortar strike inbound.
Check fire.
Hardpoint relocated. Secure the target area.
Changing mags.
Hostile care package deployed. Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area. Hostile UAV in the area. Hostile bomb drone is active. Hardpoint relocating. Stand by. Enemies inside the perimeter. Location updated. Capture the hardpoint. Personnel at the hardpoint.
Keep it together, Luna. I'm reloading.
Hostiles launched a cruise missile. Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area. Enemy UAV overhead.
Check fire. I'm on your six.
Locating the next hardpoint. Get ready. Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area. Hardpoint relocated. Secure the target area.
Drill charge.
The UAV online. We're getting hit hard. next hard point. Stand by. Target area updated. Move to the hard point.
Throwing grenade!
Throwing shot!
On your 6. Incoming!
Friendly UAV on station.
Watch your fire!
I'm on your enemies inside the perimeter. Hostile UAV in the area. Locating the next hard point. Get ready.
Fire!
Hard point relocated. Secure the target area. Ready to deploy.
Changing mag!
Hard point compromised. Secure the cruise missile ready to deploy.
Requesting close air! Target marked!
Trojan 6-2, cruise. UAV overhead. Mission failed. Return to base.
Got a cold fucking gold one already. Three kills, dead silence. That's it.
Domination. We're taking Charlie.
Covering your 6. Fire!
Charlie secure.
Using drill charge!
Throwing flash grenade!
Enemy securing Bravo.
Loading!
The enemy took Bravo. Hostile UAV in the area.
There's two.
The enemy controls 2 objectives. Get after it.
Ammo! I'm taking
Enemy
fire!
UAV active.
Destroyed! Blood for blood!
Securing Alpha.
Enemy spotted!
Alpha Alpha secure. We're losing Alpha. Secure Bravo. Securing objective Bravo. The enemy took Alpha.
Semtex, incoming!
We're taking Bravo.
Flash out!
Bravo secure.
Control charge! Just the gun!
Friendly airstrike in the AO. Friendly UAV online. Enemy
On your
taking
six.
Bravo. Objective Bravo is compromised. Get securing objective Bravo.
Suppression mindset.
Reloading!
We're taking Bravo. We control Bravo. We're losing Bravo.
Taking fire over here.
Fucking out of here.
Enemy securing Charlie. Our UAV is orbiting the area. We're taking Alpha. The enemy took Charlie.
Reloading.
Securing objective Alpha. Securing objective Charlie. We control Alpha. Securing Charlie.
Changing mags.
Control all objectives. Secure the perimeter. Enemy securing Bravo. Our
Requesting
mortar strike
ordnance.
is
Position
inbound.
marked.
We've taken the lead. We've lost Bravo.
Throwing flash!
Enemies taking Charlie. We're losing
Target.
Enemy securing Alpha. Secure Bravo. We've lost Alpha. Objective Bravo secure. Friendly SAE.
Changing mags!
Friendly emergency airdrop on the way. Friendly UAV on station. Two objectives secure. Hostile Juggernaut entering the AO.
Oh, really? Fantastic.
Enemy UAV overhead. Securing Alpha. All objectives secure. Hold what you got. Enemies taking Bravo. Enemies taking Charlie. Objective Bravo is compromised. Get it back. Lost Charlie.
Took a round!
We're taking Bravo. Bravo secure. UAV is orbiting the area. The enemy has captured 2 objectives. We're taking Charlie. Objective Charlie secure. Friendly mortar strike on the way. Enemy taking Alpha. Objective Alpha is compromised. Get it back. Hostile UAV in the area. Secure Bravo.
Taking it back to fuck off the drill jar! Throwing shots!
Bravo. We're losing Enemies taking Bravo. Objective Charlie is compromised. Get it back. Hostile objective. We have to turn this around now. Securing Objective Bravo. Objective Bravo secure.
Reloading! Reloading!
On your 6! Securing Objective Charlie. Enemy securing Bravo. We control Charlie. We've lost Bravo. Enemy securing Charlie.
Whoa.
We're taking Alpha. The enemy captured all objectives. Fight back. We've lost the lead.
Oh.
Objective Alpha secure. Enemy securing Alpha. Securing Charlie. The enemy holds all objectives, with Charlie secure.
Tossing drill jar! Reloading!
Securing Objective Alpha. We're losing Bravo. We're taking Alpha. We're losing Charlie. We control 2 objectives.
Using drill jar! Throwing shot stick!
Securing Objective Alpha. The lead is ours. Friendly UAV on station.
Changing mags!
Enemy securing Bravo. Mission complete. Solid work.
secondary weapons. Jesus. I'm gonna fucking battle rage just playing this shit.
Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area.
Covering your 6. Using drill charge!
Enemy counter UAV is active. Enemy UAV active. Confirming next hardpoint. Stand by. Location updated. Capture the hardpoint.
What?
Activating EMP! Enemy contact!
Get to cover! Enemy advancing. Enemy personnel at the hardpoint.
Check fire!
Friendly UAV online. Enemies inside the perimeter. Locating the next hardpoint.
Jesus.
Hostile UAV in the area.
This is fucking done.
Hardpoint relocated. Secure the target area.
This fucking guy, dude. This thing had fucking crash, dude.
Throwing a stunner!
Enemy personnel at the
Drill
hardpoint.
charge! Throwing flash grenade!
It's fucking fantastic, dude.
Enemies inside the perimeter.
Using drill charge!
Enemy in the area.
Activating DDoS!
Hardpoint relocating. Stand by. Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area. Enemies inside the perimeter. Location updated. Capture the hardpoint.
Dude. Fucking shitting me here.
Enemy UAV active. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy personnel at the hardpoint.
Reloading! On your 6.
Enemy care package incoming.
I do my fucking 2 kills, dude. I had 1 fucking
Mission
kill.
compromised. We've been defeated.
Fantastic.
Alpha secure. We're losing Bravo. Objective Bravo is compromised. Get it back.
It's a game right there, dude.
Using drill charge!
Have your back.
The enemy holds 2 objectives. Secure those positions. Enemies taking Alpha. Secure Bravo. We're losing Alpha. The enemy captured the objective. Fight back. We're taking Alpha. Securing Objective Alpha. Objective Alpha secure.
Changing mags!
Flash incoming!
Taking Charlie. Objective Charlie secure. Enemies taking Charlie.
Fuck you, dude.
Enemy securing Charlie.
Enemy contact!
Hardline activated.
Fuck off.
The enemy took Charlie.
I am with you!
Taking effective fire!
Securing Objective Bravo. The enemy controls 2 objectives. Get after him. Securing Objective Charlie. Charlie.
That was close! Reloading!
Enemy UAV active. Enemy securing Alpha. We've lost Alpha. We're taking Bravo. Objective Bravo secure. Taking Bravo.
Changing mags!
Enemy securing Bravo. We've secured 2 objectives.
Using drill charge! Throwing shot stick!
Enemies taking Charlie. We're losing Bravo. Enemies taking Bravo. We've lost Bravo. We've lost all objectives. Turn it around
Fuck you, dude. Horse fucking
Fix online.
shit.
We've lost half the field. Fight back. Securing Alpha. control Alpha.
Get effective fire!
The enemy has captured 2 objectives. Hostile SAE near your position. Hostile cluster mine deployed. Hostile UAV in the area.
Sniper's down!
Enemy UAV overhead.
Shock stick out! Tossing drill charge! Taking effective fire!
What the fuck? It's fucking bullshit over here, dude. Really. Sucks.
I'm reloading! Using
Enemy
drill
UAV
charge!
active. Hostile recon is active.
Dude, this fucking map, dude.
Tossing drill charge!
We're
Using
losing
drill
Alpha.
charge!
The enemy holds all objectives. We're getting our asses kicked.
Taking fire!
We're getting hit hard.
Throwing shock stick!
Hostile VTOL incoming.
This is fucking so gay, dude.
Mission failed. Return to base.
Search and destroy. It fucking takes 8 years, dude. I fucking lose horribly. You can't do anything.
deathmatch.
Throwing drill charge! Throwing flash grenade!
We have the lead. We've lost the lead.
I'm reloading!
The enemy has the lead.
Notre vengeance est si douce.
Fuck.
Activating EMP!
Good for you, buddy.
Hostile UAV in the area.
Changing max!
Fucking faggot, dude.
Enemy here! This one's dead!
Hardline online.
I'm reloading!
Enemy UAV overhead.
On your six! Using drill charge!
Enemies deployed a counter UAV. Hostile cruise missile launched.
They tagged me! Throwing drill charge! Check your fire! Switching max! Target! I need medical!
online. Enemy UAV active.
I'll cover you! C'est quoi ce bordel?
The enemy is gaining ground. Push them back.
Oh shit.
Changing max! Changing max! Requesting recon flyover.
Copy that. UAV is on station.
Fuck off, dude.
Be advised, UAV is exiting the AO.
Incoming fast! Using field charge! Reloading! Throwing shotgun!
Standing by. Hostile UAV in the area.
Requesting recon at my location.
Copy. UAV orbiting the AO. Recon is online.
C'est quoi ce bordel? Hostile silent!
Be advised, UAV is exiting the AO.
Setting mine! Covering you.
Hostile mortar strike incoming. area.
Did it really?
60 seconds left.
Got you covered. Fuck me!
Friendly
Requesting
precision
close
air
air.
strike inbound. Seconds.
Fuck off, dude. You're a fucking fat dick.
10 seconds remaining. Enemy UAV overhead. Mission failed. Return to base.
God. I didn't get 2 kills, dude. Battle Rage.